The Christophers is directed by Steven Soderbergh and it stars Michaela Coel and Ian McKellen. And in Soderbergh's new movie, the estranged children of a once famous artist hire a forger to complete his unfinished works so they can be discovered and sold after his death. I am a massive fan of Steven Soderbergh's work. This man has so much range when it comes to directing. He's directed crime movies, drama movies, dance movies for some reason, and The Christophers look like another very unique movie for him. Plus, it stars Ian McKellen and Michaela Coel, who is a fantastic actress. And I am very happy to say that The Christophers was very, very good. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a massive surprise for me. Now, I'm going to give this movie 1 point right off the back, because somehow, and you're not going to believe this movie made James Corden bearable.
What?
Granted, he's only in the movie for about 6 to 7 minutes, and I think I'm being generous saying that as well. But he was okay in this movie. Out of the 4 main leads, he's easily the worst, but he was okay. But in all seriousness, this movie was very, very strong. And the reason why I liked it is that it's a mix of a whole load of genres. It's obviously a drama movie, but in some ways you could argue it's also a crime movie and also a lot like a comedy movie as well. It's a very slow movie, very dialogue heavy. So if you're not into that type of stuff, you're really not going to like this movie. But what I really liked about it is that it's a gradual growth of lessons learned and reveals about the characters stuff that enhances their relationship. Ian McKellen's Julian Sclair or Sklar, I forgot how you properly pronounce it. He was a very popular artist who has declined in popularity, and you can tell that he's broken. He doesn't really adapt to the modern world of art now, and you can tell a lot of the time that he's lost a lot of his passion, even though he keeps all his old paintings. And when Laurie comes along and she tries to recreate some of the paintings, he's like, no, you know, this is art. Like, you can't do this. Like, you really need to be talented. Even I don't know how I do this sometimes. You can tell he's broken, but he's really trying to pass along his knowledge to the next generation as well. He's also got a really bad family dynamic as well. His greedy children are trying to forge his paintings to sell them off. He basically calls his own son a tech bro, which he's not wrong. His son is an absolute knobhead. And then you have his assistant, Laurie, who's pretending to be his assistant, but in actuality, she's working with his children to try and forge the paintings for them. And even though in the very first shot of this movie, it's very clear that she's really into art and respects it, you can tell her morals are conflicted now, trying to forge these paintings, trying to do this for some really greedy people, but also still trying to appreciate art as well. And going back to the slow burn story, where several twists are gradually revealed, it really enhances their relationship and they learn from one another. In fact, you could argue that Ian McKellen's character teaches Laurie something, and then Laurie teaches it back to him in a different way. Really, this movie is about the modern state of art and how we critique it, because especially me, I've felt like this a few times where we critique a piece of art, we say, oh, we don't really like it, it's trash, it's terrible. But sometimes we forget that maybe this artist created it because it meant a lot to them. I, for one, have certainly felt really bad critiquing some films because even though I really didn't like the movie, I sometimes forget that maybe they did it because it was in remembrance of someone, or they did it just to feel fulfilled about something. You never know, and I think people really forget about that, especially nowadays with people bashing this and bashing that. They just need to take a step back and realise this was made for a very specific reason. And I think the ending really hammers that home very, very well. And it's mainly thanks to the previous direction of the movie that I think it really, really works. We hardly see the Christophers in this movie. When they are shown fully in the frame, it's very dim lighting. You never get a clear sense of what they look like. And for me personally, that was very intentional. Because if you can't get a full look at the painting, you can't fully critique it. And that was the whole point of this movie, because the final shot of this movie finally shows a painting in full clear view. And yet you feel like, yeah, that makes sense. That's really, really sweet. I'm really happy for this person now. So in some way, myself, and I think many other film critics, or critics in general, can really relate to something about this movie and how we perceive art. However, and this is a personal preference, Steven Soderbergh has been very vocal about his use of AI in this new John Lennon documentary and how he supports it in certain aspects of filmmaking. And it's a little bit contradictory of him to say those things about AI and make a movie that appreciates handmade art. It just doesn't work well, and if this movie was directed by anyone else, that point would not be there. But unfortunately, because of what he said, it's really going to diminish a lot of the weight of this film. But that's just my opinion, though. And even though I do not agree with those comments, it really didn't take a lot away from the film. I still very much was engaged with it. And as I said, I related to it in many aspects. What always worked about this movie, though, was the acting. Ian McKellen was easily the standout here. He's a fantastic actor. I don't need to tell you that. You know he's fantastic. He really shines here. I did find this comment on Letterboxd. It really made me laugh. But it's also very accurate. He plays a really grumpy old man, but in certain scenes he's very jolly. He's going about his ass, nice and jolly and everything. It's just a very lively performance. Also, Michaela Coel, fantastic, very underrated actress. Please watch her in I May Destroy You. She is fantastic in that show. She's great in this movie, and her and Ian McKellen, they had really, really good chemistry. So in conclusion, I thought The Christophers was a very relatable movie about the modern state of art, and it's also a critique on criticism of art as well. It has both very lively but also very tragic characters in there as well. I really did love the discreet direction, how they showcased the paintings. Top that off, fantastic performances. It made James Corden surprisingly bearable. I really enjoyed The Christophers. However, because of Soderbergh's comments about AI, it does lose a lot of its weight. So I would highly suggest you go see this film. It's not really having a lot of showings, which is really unfortunate. So if you can get a showing that's really convenient for you, please go and see it. It's really worth your time and money. I'm going to give The Christophers a very solid 8.5 out of 10. And there we go, people. That is the end of the review. If you have seen The Christophers, do let me know your thoughts on it. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, guys. Have a good day, and see you later.